So my name's Hannah Paylor. I work for Carnegie UK. So Carnegie UK is a social change foundation, and we work across the UK to put collective wellbeing at the heart of decision making. And by collective wellbeing, we mean kind of the systems and structures that need to be in place to enable people to live a good quality of life. The Scottish Government are currently consulting for a Wellbeing and Sustainable Development Bill in Scotland. And that's really about putting kind of long-term strategic thinking into decision making, and really builds on some work that's been done in Wales around Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. So I've been working, I guess, actually using some of the tactics that I learned from the Carousel to really influence that process, and make sure that actually the legislation achieves what we hope it could and should do. So my background is in anthropology, social anthropology, and I did a master's in social research. But I've always been quite interested in like the combination of different like skills or tactics. So the research, policy, comms, advocacy, and then also that like relationships point and how important relationships are for bringing about change. I was almost feeling a bit kind of stuck, or like we were trying the same things and maybe not achieving the change that we wanted to. And I was like really interested in the different tactics that people use and almost like the theory behind it, but not just the theory for the sake of theory, but kind of then how you apply that theory. And I think it was, so I think there was a range of reasons why I wanted to do it, but part of it was also that really having that structured time, and the fact that it was over a year meant that like it wasn't really overwhelming, but that I remember I think it started in September and I'd had a holiday and I came back and I was right, I'm going to get kind of structured, and it gave me that reflection time in between, so it worked really well for me. So the main thing I really took from it, which is maybe unexpected, was this network of like-minded people that I've since been able to like stay in touch with. And I think particularly because I work in Scotland for a UK-based organisation, that's quite unique. And it's really hard to find people working in kind of similar areas, specifically in Scotland. So I really, really appreciated the opportunity to learn not just from the programme, but from the people that participated in it. And particularly people that were kind of in larger organisations. I think that point about having that structured time to learn, and I think the mix between some theory, some practical examples, and like frameworks that we tested and then I could take away and use. It helped me to be a bit more strategic about it, because I am quite a creative person, but I think it just helped me to kind of feel a bit more almost confident in the approaches that I was trying as well. Yeah, so the power grid, I think that's what it's called. That in particular has come up, so I've used that in my work, and then I feel like that's then been quite influential in the organisation as well, particularly in terms of helping us kind of understand where we sit in the kind of broader ecosystem. So I think because we're such a small team, and that acknowledgement that we're not a traditional campaigning organisation, it's just been helpful to see what we're good at and what we maybe are not best placed to do, but where we also could lean into and do more of. So I'm just picturing that grid. I feel like it's like ingrained in my mind. Really enjoyed there was one, I think it was Communicating for Change. Really loved that one, and particularly some of the resources that were shared around kind of like framing and hopeful framing. So I've like consciously tried to embed that in my work. The breakout groups that we did as part of the sessions, they felt really different, and I think it was because they were always focused on a specific task. So I don't know, maybe it was post-COVID, which I was used to a lot of breakouts where you go around, you say your organisation, and then it kind of gets a bit awkward. But actually, what was really lovely is that we were given a task, and I felt like everybody could contribute equally, but differently, depending on their kind of skill set and where they were coming from. And then so the ability to kind of bring my own perspectives, but then for others to share theirs, and then to come back and hear what other people had done, I thought was it was like quite inspiring actually, and just really made a difference in terms of that online environment. And I think that I definitely have then taken that into my own work in terms of an approach as well, because I just think it just creates different kind of conversation. I mentioned earlier that I am quite a creative person, but there was something about feeling like a bit more like confidence that I was heading in the right direction. Yeah, I think that would be probably the main most notable difference for me, and just yeah, I've just really appreciated then being able to have the resources to go back to and learn from. I think it was really energizing. It made me feel really hopeful. And I think just it was really worth the investment, both I think financially, but also in the time that I'd set aside for it. So I think if people are feeling a bit stuck, it really could give them the chance to connect with other people, and people kind of having the same challenges. Um, I think that point about not just learning through the structured program, but learning from each other. I think the advert itself talks about the carousel giving the building blocks for social change. And I really felt that it did give me that. So I'd hope that it would give other people that too.